friends, my name is Kim. Welcome back to Cottage Kim Cooks. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you with me today. Today is the day after Thanksgiving here in the US, and I have leftovers, and I thought I've got to find a way to use my leftovers. So what we're going to make is a turkey and rice soup. I've got my skillet getting hot, very hot. I'm going to melt some butter. And then we're going to saute some onions. I have what's left from a relish tray. And we're going to cut up some celery and some carrots. And we're going to saute those as well. I'm going to cut this a little bit more. So last night I was making, I used the carcass of the turkey and what was left on that, and I let it boil until, or not boil, simmer until around 12:30 this morning. And then I jarred it up, and then this morning I canned 10 pints of turkey broth. And that's what gave me the idea. I actually posted on social media that I had done that, and I said it makes really good gravy, and it does make excellent gravy. And people posted that I should make a turkey soup with it. And so I thought, well, I know how to make chicken noodle soup, so I could just alter that recipe and make a turkey and rice soup. Now, I don't have regular long grain rice. I have parboiled rice, so my rice is not going to take as long to cook. So you want to think about that when you are making yours. But for no matter what kind of rice you're using, the first step is going to be to saute these vegetables. So let's put our celery in. And I'm going to cut up some carrots. So we've got our carrots added. Let's give those a stir. I wish I could find a burner like this that is a full size and not the small burner that, you know, like the full size burner on your stove. That would be super helpful. If I take a video at the stove, you're not able to see me unless I move my head to the side. So that's why I like to use this on the island. I'm going to add my onion that I already chopped. And I'm going to add salt and pepper. I'm going to use a good amount of pepper because my family loves pepper. I use a lighter amount of salt. Give that a stir. And then we're going to cut up our turkey breast. And you can use, I only saved the turkey breast. You can use whatever you want. I'll take the skin off, so we don't want that in our soup. And you can shred it, you can cut it in cubes. I'm going to cut it in cubes. Small cubes, which actually looks like it's shredding, so we're not going to add our turkey until after we add our broth and our stock and our rice. I think I actually am going to cook this get these going by cooking it on the stove. Okay, so we're going to let this cook up nicely, and then we're going to add our broth. I'm going to add probably 3 to 4 cups of broth. I'm cooking another turkey, so if my timer happens to go off, I have to baste it with my basting liquid, and it's the one that I shared with you, which is the orange juice and soy sauce and chicken broth. It's the third one I've made, and each time people are raved about it, so it's going to be my go-to because it creates a moist turkey, cooking it at 325 and uncovered until the top is brown, and then basting it every 30 minutes. That basting is a little bit of an extra step, but it's definitely worth it. I'm going to grab my rice. And it says for stovetop and 3-quart saucepan, combine 1 3/4 water, 1 cup uncooked rice, and 1 teaspoon salt. Bring to a boil, simmer 20 to 25 minutes until water is absorbed. So we're going to add more liquid than that, but we'll cook it for the 20 to 25 minutes before we add the turkey. I'm going to add my turkey broth, and this was not canned, this jar, because it didn't have enough to have 1 inch of headspace. So I don't want you to worry because you didn't hear that good sound. And then I'm going to use this turkey broth because it will expire before I use it. I'm going to give our broth a taste to see if it needs any other seasoning. It definitely does. So I'm going to add more salt and more pepper, and I'm going to actually add some thyme. Not a lot of thyme, maybe 1/4 teaspoon. I went ahead and put a lid on it that helps it bring it to a boil faster. Okay, it is at a boil now, so I'm going to reduce my heat to low and let that simmer for 20 minutes. And then we're going to come back and add our turkey, and we may need to add more broth. I'm not sure. We'll see how much that rice absorbed the broth. And if we need more broth, we've got plenty here that we can choose from. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. I think our rice is cooked. So we're going to add our chopped up turkey. And like I said, I use turkey breast, but you are welcome to use whatever turkey you have available. You can use dark meat, you can use light meat, you can use a mixture of both. And I think this is going to need a little bit more broth. I have a second pot holder, but I don't know where it is. And I want to be able to show you, this is what it looks like. So it definitely has a good amount of broth, but it doesn't have what I would consider a soup amount of broth. So I'm going to take one of these jars of turkey broth stock that I created last night. I have on my Christmas list a jar opener for these canning jars. Because every time I open broth, I wear it. Okay. Add that broth there. We'll let that come up to temperature, and we'll put some in a bowl, and we'll give it a taste. Okay, this is what it looks like. Get a little bit of rice, a little bit of turkey. See if I can get some onion. I'm not going to try and get any carrot because you know how I feel about cooked carrots. It's extremely hot. That's absolutely delicious, my friends. The thyme added just the right amount of savoriness that we needed. The stock is extremely rich. You can taste the chicken, you can taste the rice, you can taste the onion. I can't taste the celery necessarily, but I didn't get a piece of celery, so you'll probably taste it more in other things, but just as a well-rounded, balanced flavor. Really, really delicious, and a good way to use your leftovers if you had a relish tray, if you had, or a charcuterie board, if you used your veggies on a charcuterie board, if you had a turkey that you have left over, something different to use your leftovers for that isn't turkey salad, which is typically what you make with your leftover turkey after you get sick of eating it as a meal. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, CottageKimCooks. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I try and post videos every Tuesday and Friday. I haven't been very successful at that lately, but I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. And if you live in the West Milton or the Dayton, Ohio area, then you can visit my shop at 28 Marketplace. It is almost like an incubator for small businesses, arts and crafts, and just different types of businesses, including food vendors, sourdough. I saw someone who made spelt flour bread, so you can get a variety of things, and you can check out my cookbook. Sorry about that, friends, but as I was saying, you can go to 28 Marketplace. It's on Route 48, which is Miami Street, and I have cookbooks there, and usually the items that I share a video on Tuesday, I'll be selling the cookbook that week. We call it Today's Menu, and it will have a QR code that takes you to the YouTube video, and then the cookbook's for sale right there. So I really enjoyed our time together today, friends. I hope that you did as well, and I look